In the event of a water damage emergency, call PuroClean of Cenla.
No matter the weather, Alexandria Emergency Hospital is always here for you. Rain or shine, our doors are open 24/7 to provide the care you and your loved ones need fast. Every second counts, and Alexandria Emergency Hospital is here to help you through any storm.
If I tell you to, actually, I think we're good now. Hello, hello. Sorry about that, guys. I got you. Okay, you ready to start again? Well, we'll just we'll clip that off, I guess. Hold on one second. So we restarted everything, and when I do that, the audio sometimes gets weird. So hold on one second. Going to start from the beginning here. 40 degrees right now in LeCount. So it's cooling off. It's just a little bit slower down that way. 34 though in Gina. So sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I will clip that off. We'll just do the audio thing here. 34 degrees in Gina, so it's getting close to freezing there, not quite. Up toward Alla, that's where that freezing line is right now. 31 showing up in Natchitoches, and I was explaining how that sensor is actually up on the top of the it's on the top of the stadium there at Turpin Stadium, and so as this cold wedge of air comes in, it's actually pretty steep how it gets colder as you go up. So it could be 31 at the treetops, but still 33 where you are down at ground level. That's just how this all works. So probably 32 from what I'm seeing on the ground in Natchitoches, but 31 a bit higher. 34 Toledo Bend, dew point 31 out there. It's going to be a little bit more modified there as they are right on the water. So that hopefully will keep that bridge from icing over too soon. 39 degrees Alexandria. We are safely above freezing and watching that freezing line carefully. So we have an ice storm warning. You know that. The big question is, where will this first wave produce ice? And I'll show you where I'm seeing that here. You can see, I mean, to the north, just a ton of snow going on here. This is going to be a double-barreled system that's going to roll through. Light snow all the way up into southern Iowa, Kansas, Tennessee, seeing some snow up into Arkansas. Going to be a far-reaching system with big-time travel implications. Now, this is just the Fort Polk radar, and the precip algorithm here. You can see that the rain is falling. Most likely, it wants to bump it back through Natchitoches. I think they're actually down to 32. And one thing I'm doing, and actually I can do that up here, I had that Louisiana Mesonet site, which has been really awesome to follow. I'll put the link in the comments for you. So this is a good way to see what the temperature is. And yeah, it's down to 32.15. They get technical in Natchitoches, and that looks like it's actually on the southeast side of town. 31.12 in Manny, so below freezing, and Winfield 29.99. And just to verify our reading there in Gina, 33.74 is what they're seeing, and we're seeing 34, so that's good. Let me put this link in there if you want to. Basically, I was restarting everything yesterday because we wanted to make sure like the generator was all good and everything like that. So that's the Mesonet site. That's all Louisiana. They don't have it all filled out just yet, but a lot of those are over North Louisiana, so you can actually see what's going on now. Another site I use for kind of real-time temperature data, and this is going to be a pretty long broadcast here, so stick with me. I'll get to the important stuff here shortly. This shows the freezing line is now down to basically the Grant Wynn Parish line. right around Pacton, and then stretches back through Natchitoches. So this is the Ambient Weather Network. These are a lot of home weather stations, and I know some of you actually have these. So here you go. All right, this is going to even give you more things to look at. So rain is moving in. This is all liquid here for the first wave in Alexandria. 39 degrees right now. Natchitoches, your borderline Winfield, it's freezing rain up that way, and northern Sabine Parish as well. We have ice storm warnings in effect until 6 p.m. Winter weather advisories just south of that, 6 p.m. Sunday. So yeah, things are about to start going downhill, and I'm just looking at all the reports coming in here from the Shreveport area and all that. Tons of you just don't head north. It's rough up there. 28 in Shreveport, 29 Monroe, 32. That's our latest temp in Natchitoches, and now down to 38 at the airport. 37 Faraday, you can see that warmer air that's nudging up the eastern side here as that cold front moves in. That surface wave is going to try to pull in the warmer air to our southeast. I don't think that really does anything for us. And like I've been saying, and I'll show you exactly what line I'm talking about, but north of that line here across central Louisiana, basically from like DeRidder to Turkey Creek to Simmsport, I think that's where we're going to see the lion's share of the freezing rain, because we're going to see that second wave come through and we're going to be below freezing for that. Another thing of note, northeasterly winds, not northwesterly, so we're not having to deal with the Ouachita Mountains. That low-level cold air can get hung up on those, and that's not happening, and that's why I think models are actually kind of doing a poor job with this. But that straight northerly or northeasterly flow, that's going to keep the cold air pumping in, it's going to keep those dew points low, and it's going to keep any precipitation falling through that, for now, liquid. But as we cool things off and as we get that drier air, it sounds counterproductive, but drier air, when heavier rain falls into it, cools off, and we're going to see that happen through the day. So 35 at 1, 33 at 4 p.m., and we will probably, I'm still forecasting we go below freezing around 6 o'clock here in Alexandria. The HRRR model has been lagging on this cold air, so I'm going to show you this is kind of a best case for what I think could happen today, and they keep it mostly rain until about 3 a.m. That's when they start to crash that freezing line down here, and you can see some thunderstorms involved there. So by 7 a.m., this is, again, I'm going to show you more of a realistic worst case scenario after this, but 7 a.m., widespread freezing rain from most of Beauregard Parish into northern Evangeline and Allen, and into Avoyelles Parish as well. And then after that, this does end things a little sooner, so could be a bit of a saving grace there, ending by 10-ish here in Alexandria and then sweeping quickly out of the area. And then we start to focus on that next system that we have coming in, which we're not going to even talk about yet. So here is your reasonable worst case, if that was kind of a best case for you. This is the Barron 3K model. It's been running pretty cold, which is actually something that a lot of models aren't doing. So this has been lining up a little closer to reality. It may be a little far south on this, but you can see what's going on here. Actually, it's weird with this one because we have thunderstorms showing up, and that kind of messes with the precipitation type. But down south, all liquid. By about 3 p.m. here, that's when they're dropping us below freezing, possibly seeing this not area-wide, but I'd say over 80-90% of the area below freezing by 7 p.m., and then it just kind of comes through in waves, and we see those heavier bursts come through. And look at this. I mean, just a line of thunderstorms overhead with freezing conditions. And actually, this model has us in the mid to upper 20s. So if you want to talk about a worst case scenario, that would be it right there, because that is incredibly cold stuff. So I do need an opening act, Chris. You're right. And hey, I turned on the microphone finally, so that's good. I will trim that off in case you joined in late. It was a lot of fun. I started with no audio. Only went about 30 seconds. Thank you to my wife and all of you for saying, hey, turn that volume up. Severe outlook for today. Why am I showing that? Because there's thunderstorms in the forecast for today and for tomorrow. So this is obviously crazy. I mean, in the 20s and 30s, and seeing this kind of stuff, it's not unheard of. We did this in 2021. We had thunderstorms with temperatures below freezing, but it's just it's wild to see this. And I'm just checking the latest temperatures coming in here, because these update a lot. Yeah, it's dropped them below freezing in Natchitoches now. So Manny, Natchitoches, Winfield, all below freezing from what I'm seeing here. Gina still just above. Colfax 34 degrees, and here in Alexandria we're down to 38. So we still have a ways to go here in Alexandria. So what are the headlines? It's below freezing in some areas, so you need to be set and ready and done and prepared and home for a little while. An earlier onset, we're seeing that as well. So we're seeing the because it's colder, we're seeing the earlier onset of ice accumulations in parts of the area. Significant impacts are likely apart from maybe St. Landry and southern parts of Allen and Evangeline Parish. And take care of your neighbor. You know, you got that lady down the road, you're like, you know, I gotta go meet her sometime. Go say hi, how you doing? If anything happens, you lose power, I can help out. So that's an important thing, I think, just to get out and take care of one another in this situation, because you never know what people have and what they can do and how they're able to take care of themselves. So this, if you remember yesterday, this line was just north of Alexandria toward Leesville. Again, it's been nudging further southward, now including most of Beauregard Parish in the minor to moderate risk, or the minor to moderate impacts, and then northern Evangeline and Allen. I think St. Landry Parish, if any parish sees less impact out of this, that's why they're in the winter weather advisory. It would be down there. But the northern part of Evangeline, Allen, and Beauregard look like they're going to get hit pretty hard. Avoyelles as well. And then as you get further north, then you get into more of not only the sure thing, but I think you get a longer duration. You're going to get higher amounts. In fact, it's rare that we see this, but we're seeing that extreme impact thing pop up, the purple. We're seeing that indicator from about Winfield all the way up through northeast Louisiana, Tallulah, Lake Providence, that area. So no traveling. We're not going to do that. I didn't adjust this. So I'm going to do the parish by parish thing. I'm going to update the timing because that has bumped up a little bit, but quarter to 3/4 of an inch right across the heart of the area. Some areas could see no accumulation, especially southern St. Landry Parish. Other than that, I think it's going to be more like a 1/10 to 1/4 across this blue area, and then to our north, a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. It's not impossible that we would see 1 inch totals a little bit kind of bleeding into this red area, but that's such a rare event. If you get 3/4 or if you get an inch, it's going to pretty much have the same impact. We're going to see a lot of power outages out of this system, I do fear. In fact, when I'm done here, I'm going to pull up the current power outage map just so we can take a look at that. 2 inches of We have 2 inches of liquid through Friday. Now, that's not all going to be out of this system, but most of it is. I really think 1 to 2 inches of liquid falls from this one, and then this does include that next Friday system that everybody's been talking about that ranges on models, just so you know, from absolutely nothing to a lot of stuff. So we're going to be watching that one closely. We will put rain in there for now, 42 degrees. We're not even going to worry about it. I'm literally still trying to figure out where the freeze line sets up on this thing today. So am I going to give you specifics on next Friday? Absolutely not. It's going to be really, really cold here. We're going to be up there, and I didn't even move these back. But freezing rain, yeah, you get the picture. Cold to start Monday and Tuesday, 18 and 15 right there. And then beyond that, we're actually going to stay pretty cold. It looks like February. The first week is going to be chilly. Now, let me pull up the power outage map real quick, and then we'll go back to radar, and I'll recap some of the stuff in the beginning that I was showing you with the cameras. So just stick with me, and I will add this in. I always know I'm going to forget something, so well, that's the wrong thing. So current conditions, got to go in there and see those power outages. I'm going to go for the whole state because I think North Louisiana is where we're going to see more of this right now, power outages. This is percentage. I don't want that. Okay, so we're already seeing some power outages up into Caddo Parish. You're seeing that, and then down into, what is that, DeSoto. So not crazy amounts yet, but you're starting to see those pop up, and this is a little bit earlier than I thought that would happen. Also, just zooming out, you can see some out into Texas, up into Arkansas as well. So these are going to expand. We're going to see some, I fear we're going to see some of those darker yellows and oranges and reds as we get a little further into this event. So let's go over into radar, and I'll show you a few things right now. I'm going to actually take off the alerts because, you know, we got a winter storm warning and a cold weather advisory and a cold weather warning, so we're going to just be incredibly cold. We also have lightning, 170, 180 strikes of lightning happening amid all this. So let's pull off the warnings. I'm going to actually pull up the storm reports, see if we have any of those out there yet. Yeah. So Shreveport, estimated at, hold on, let me pause that, 1/4 inch of ice, 2/10 of an inch of sleet, under 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain measured near Richmond Avenue on Kings Highway, and then up into Claiborne Parish, Homer. They are seeing most parish roads covered, a lot of sleet falling. So we're seeing more sleet than was forecasted as well. Numerous reports of sleet around Bastrop as well. So I know sleet's mixing in with the freezing rain up there around Monroe, so it's a little deeper on the cold air, and that also shows me that this cold air is stronger. Also, what shows me that is it's just outrunning what the models are forecasting. So I don't think that it's going to get down here in time to change this first wave over for Rapides Parish, but like I was saying, you have that already happening up in Natchitoches, Wynne, and Sabine Parish as well. Let me look at the latest update on those temperatures as they come in here. It did drop below freezing in Natchitoches, and we get these pretty often. I'll just show you what it looks like. It's a really awesome tool here. Let's go. There you go. So this is the Louisiana Mesonet. This is something that they do out of the University of Louisiana Monroe, and they've started, thankfully for our purposes in this one, building this out in the northern part of the state. There are some down here in the south, but we're going to be watching these up here. Colfax is down to 34.07. I know it's tough to see that. I'll just read them off. Gina, 33.49. Jonesville, 34.98. And one thing I noticed there is they have one at Acme, and it's been hovering right around 40. So I think that's kind of that area there down into southeast, or down into most of Avoyelles and southeastern Rapides Parish, where we're going to see a little bit of a warm nudge, and that's kind of where that battle zone sets up between very cold rain and freezing rain later today into the evening, and then it's all going to come crashing down. So we'll see temperatures quickly dropping as we get later into the evening. 31.90 in Natchitoches, 30.98 in Manny, and 29.95 in Winfield. Why am I getting so in depth with that? Well, because I can. One other thing I want to show you here is, actually, I'll do the Colfax one, because we're going to go over the last hour with this. So you can go in here and you can highlight parameters on this thing. You can see what the temperature is doing. And notice that around 8:55, so about 20 minutes ago, we saw it drop from 35.25. It's now down to 34.07. So a drop of over a degree as the rain started, and it starts to kind of wet bulb, or it cools things off as we get that drier air in. So this is what radar looks like. It's picking up this algorithm here showing rain in Natchitoches. I think we're seeing some ice up that way already. So Winfield, Natchitoches, Manny, that's kind of where that freezing line is per what I'm saying right now. And I'm talking about something that's not up there. So let's go to that. There we go. And I'm going to draw the freezing line that I'm seeing on the actual observations that I think is going to be better than what we're seeing here. So from about Sicily Island, between Alla and Gina, right along the Grant-Wynne line, right through Natchitoches, and then it kind of dips down here, so I do agree with where it has it there. Not sure about what it's seeing in Jasper, but that's about where that freezing line is. And if you're north of that, I don't really see much chance of it coming back above freezing today. This is only about 30 miles from Alexandria. Now, this was in Jonesboro at 4:30 this morning. 7:30, it was down to Winfield, and now it's down around Pacton, so it has slowed just a little bit. But still, I think this gets in here by later this afternoon or evening. And at the absolute latest, overnight tonight around midnight. And the thing is, it's not going to matter so much because, yes, of course it matters, but the real heavy wave of precipitation doesn't come in until late night tonight. So we're going to see some today. There's another storm report here. 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain at the NWS office. It's mixing with sleet. I mean, it's already mixing with sleet down that far south, and that surprises me. So I'm just kind of forecasting as I go, nowcasting, enjoying just what I do here with all this stuff. And let me tell you, I am going to be looking at everything all day and keeping things as updated as possible. I mean, that's really all we can do now. You know the chances. You know that there's a big chance that, or there's a big difference between Wynne, Natchitoches, and Sabine and St. Landry Parish. So that's our forecast area. We cover basically this right here, that area roughly. So up here, you can see a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of ice in between 1/4 to 3/4, and I showed you the actual map earlier. And then down here, there are going to be parts of this that hardly see anything. So we shall see what happens. Also, one other wrinkle to throw into this, you could see some small hail out of some of these thunderstorms, especially the round that comes in late tonight into tomorrow. And if that happens, that could actually help to make the roads really nasty pretty quickly, because if you're 28, 29 degrees, the heavy rain, a lot of that's going to wash off, but that sleet or that hail would certainly start to build up. And I just got a text, sleeting in Bossier, 27 degrees. Okay. All right, well, that's, I guess we'll just kind of call it quits here. Let me go back and show you, I'll run you through what was I going to show you here? I'm going to show you the accumulation map. I'll update the parish by parish forecast just for timing, but that's what we're looking at Saturday into Sunday. So right now it's already happening up here in the purple. Down here it transitions over a bit later, but I'd want you probably to be home by 3 to 6 o'clock. That's why I shared those links earlier as well. You can track temperatures on those and you can kind of see what's going on. Don't just depend on the car thermometer. Just once it drops to about 33, some areas it may stay there for a few hours, but I would say go ahead and get home and make sure you're home before any bridge closures or anything like that. You just don't want to get stuck. So be careful. We've had a ton of lead time on this, and hopefully you keep the lights on. I'll do a live stream again later on this afternoon before Tom does, and I'll be posting things on the old machine right here. But that's it for now. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have all the snacks and you got the gumbo material, the jambalaya. We did that last night. I don't know what we're doing tonight. Something, maybe chili dogs or something. You cannot eat healthy. If you eat healthy during this, I don't know. It's going to ice more at your house or something. So, all right, I'm out of here. Have a good day. I will see you back here later.